refuge field. Visualize Bodhicitta, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Are Manjushri, Are Vilokiteshvara, Are Vajrapani, Are Tara, Are Samanbhadra, and all the enlightened beings. And how you visualize them? They're like your very affectionate parents. And imagine that you come home demoralized, and your parents are waiting there to give full love, affection, attention, embrace. How you visualize, that makes a whole difference in intensifying the refuge, in building the quality of your sense of refuge. Bodhicitta field, visualize your two parents on two sides, your children, your family members, and all other demon sentient beings. And how you visualize them. Here you're the mother, and all of us are like children. And imagine they come home demoralized, and you are there to give full love, affection, embrace and attention. And the purpose of this practice, okay, we're here to let the...
It is not the speakers, I think it's there. It's a kind of on and off.
Okay, yeah, what I mean is this light we will offer when everybody comes. Everybody comes for the first session.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken the Buddha nature within us by cleansing the mental defilements. And the mental defilements are of two kinds, the gross and the subtle. The gross referred to as afflictive obscurations, the presence of which stops us from achieving fearlessness of nirvana, and the subtle one obstructs us from achieving infinite happiness, the Buddhahood. And how to get rid of this is by identifying their nature, realizing that somehow they're all rooted to the self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. It is by employing the wisdom of emptiness, motivated by incredibly great, the power of compassion, the Bodhicitta, the compassion Bodhicitta, supported by great compassion, grounded on renunciation. So with this in mind, and keep in mind that this retreat is like, for some of you, it's like the initial trigger. And with the initial trigger, you have to keep going. Otherwise, if you keep a break, then again, you'll go back to zero. So because there's an initial trigger, you keep going, and then things will really manifest. So with that in mind, you are leading this, and all the sentient beings are joining you, and all the birds and bodhisattvas are watching us. Page 3. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I bear homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I bear homage. And through your great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha with Dharma, I bear homage. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. independent origination, there is no ceasing, no rising, no annihilation, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the Supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freedom of liberations. I prostrate Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of the pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of past causes flows helping my grace to achieve aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience helps subduers expand a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Subhata, protector, to you all my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the above conceptualizations, and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever. To you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate them out of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. Causes as well as taught by the grace here. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-light and uncomposite. Such is the nectar like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I will return the woods. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased and has the nature of space. It's all through the apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas, or the 3 times of the obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Nature, emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge to the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expensive billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the channel light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, today we'll read from page 12, the Noble Sutra remembering the 3 jewels. As we read this, just see what are the qualities mentioned of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, on the basis of which they were being praised and being the supplicated. Just see what qualities are indicated there and see if you have some of these qualities. If you do have, rejoice and see how to nurture them further, how to enrich them further. And if you don't have, and then knowing that these are the qualities on the basis of which somebody is to awaken the Buddha nature, and we all have this Buddha nature. So see how to cultivate these qualities, because it is through cultivating these qualities that what we seek, fearlessness, and what we seek, the infinite happiness, are going to be achieved. Okay. Homage to Omniscient One, purified and consummate, victorious, virtuous, and transcendent, thus gone, four-destroyer, entirely perfect Buddha, full of wisdom, the blissfully proceeding, the Lord of the world, charioteer and subduer of beings, the unsurpassable and teacher of gods and humans, such as Buddha, victorious. He who is thus gone exemplifies the merit, which is his cause. In him no root of virtue is ever worn away. Through his manifold patience, he is excellently beautiful. He is a treasure ground of merit, adorned with the token of enlightenment. He is graced with the flowers of the marks of Buddhahood. All he does is timely and opportune, and nothing inharmonious mars the sight of him. True joy indeed he gives to those who open up their hearts to him in faith. Through the brilliance of his wisdom, he is unconfounded. Against his power there is no victory. He is the teacher of all living beings, the father of all bodhisattvas, the king of all supreme ones. He is a guide for those who journey to the city beyond affliction. His wisdom is unbounded, his assurance is beyond imagination. His speech is altogether pure, well-tuned, and sweet to hear. Gazing on him, one is never sated. His body is beyond compare. By the realm of desire, he is unstained, and by the realm of form, he is wholly uncontaminated. He is not mingled with the formless. He is altogether free from misery and from the aggregates. He is utterly and altogether liberated. Elements have no hold on him. He has mastery over the sense powers. All his bonds are completely severed, and from all pains he is perfectly and totally released. No craving does he have. He has passed, and perfect is his wisdom, and is the wisdom of the Buddhas past, present, and future to come. His made his dwelling in Nirvana, where all suffering is transcended. He does not abide. His abode is on the summit of perfection, whence he perceives all living beings. Such are the sublime qualities that are the greatness of the Buddha, victorious, virtuous, and transcendent. The sacred doctrine is righteous in the outset, righteous in the middle, righteous in the end. In its meaning excellent, in its words and syllables likewise. It is integral and unalloyed. It is all-sufficing, altogether pure and purifying. Well spoken is this Dharma by the victorious one. It is a perfect way of seeing and is devoid of flaws. It is a perennial and leads us onward. To see this Dharma is to fulfill one's purpose. It produces in the wise the wisdom all distinguishing. The Dharma spoken by the victorious, virtuous, and transcendent is shown to be the well-tempered to the instructions and to the needs of all. It drives one from samsara and causes one to go to the perfect Buddhahood. It is free from contradiction, and in it all is summarized. It is to be relied upon totally. It is a cutting of the root. The Sangha of the Mahana comprises those who have well entered, wisely entered with straightforwardness and aptitude. Right it is to join one's hands before them, and right to make prostrations. They are the glorious field of merit. They are the perfect recipient of gifts. They are the objects of offering everywhere else. They are the objects worthy of all offerings. Okay, next page 14. We'll just read the stanzas from the stanza 1. When, O Supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you pace out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you, otherwise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Prostrate like you, the 3 worlds are not, incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. the Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata prostrate, the purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies the prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy faith qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this marriage may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the four faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Heart Sutra, page 29. I prostrate to the right triple gem. Thus did I hear at one time the Buddha was dwelling on Mount of Vulture's mountain at Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration or the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and behold those five gates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activities of profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, fading, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stillness, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, no fading, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no object of touch, and no phenomena. There is no I element and so on up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance and so on up to and no including no death, no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifest the complete awakened, unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it does not fall. Mantra of the professional wisdom is declared: Yatha Om Gade Gade Bara Samgade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train the profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. Once you practice the profound professional wisdom, just as you have indicated, even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aravalokiteshvara, who surrounded the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised and spoken by the Buddha. As you recite this mantra, just visualize your two parents, your children, all family members with you, and all sentient beings, everyone here in this beautiful center. the administrators, the staff, then the animals, the insects, the spirits, the hungry ghosts, helpings, god and goddesses, and all the visitors to this place, and everyone and all sentient beings in Finland, and everyone in this world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe, leaving that aside, however difficult somebody is to you, just embrace the person, everyone, give them the opportunity, let the Buddha nature manifest. No doubt they will embrace you, nobody will discard you, everybody will embrace you, provided that the Buddha nature is awakened. And we want everybody to embrace us. If we want that, then we have to give them the opportunity, help them to nurture, to awaken this Buddha nature. Everybody will embrace you. Otherwise, they will keep on dismissing you, discarding you, and being contemptuous with you. So with that in mind, just embrace everybody, and everyone is joining you in this journey. And imagine this very compassionate Buddha Shakyamuni exhorts us thus: don't remain in the fears of samsara. Come towards ultimate happiness. Let your Buddha nature become manifest. And you are hearing this melodious voice of the Buddha Shakyamuni inspire you to parent your children and everyone. Look, this is what a compassionate teacher Buddha Shakyamuni exhorts us. Let us not remain in fear of samsara. Let us all go towards ultimate happiness, towards Buddhahood together. And everyone hearing what you say, they're so inspired, so happy. They're happy to join you in this journey of cleansing the mind, awakening its Buddha nature, and experience the fearlessness, the infinite happiness.
Samgate Bodhisvatyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyatha Om Gade Gade Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyatha Om Gade Gade Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious and perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, again, the three principal parts. On page 78. try best to let the meanings flow in your mind. Page 78.
77.
Oh, 77, okay. 77. I bow down to the Venerable Lamas. As well as I am able, I will explain the essence of all the teachings of the Buddha, a path praised by the conqueror's children, entrance for those who desire liberation. Listen with a clear mind, you fortunate ones.
Who are not attached to the joys of psychic existence. Strive to make good use of leisure and opportunity, and direct your minds to the path that pleases the Buddha. Without pure renunciation and an end to attraction for pleasures of psychic existence is unattainable. The craving for existence also arouses please.
Thus from the outset seek renunciation. Reverse attraction to this life by reflecting on how leisure and opportunity are difficult to find and how life is ephemeral and without span. Reverse attraction to future lives by repetitive thinking of the infallibility of karma and its effects and the miseries of samsara. Contemplating thus, when for an instant you do not admire the splendors of cyclic existence and remain intent on liberation day and night, renunciation is born in you then. Renunciation, if not tempered by a pure mind of Bodhicitta, however, will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of Bodhicitta, swept up in the current of the four powerful rivers, tied by strong bonds of karma, so hard to undo, caught in the net of the self-grasping, completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance, born and reborn in the boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the three miseries. Thinking of your mothers in this condition, generate the supreme mind of Bodhicitta. Although you train in renunciation and the mind of Bodhicitta, without wisdom that realizes the ultimate reality, you cannot cut the root of cyclic existence. Therefore strive in one who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena in samsara and nirvana, and destroys all focuses of apprehension, has entered the path which pleases the Buddhas. Appearances are infallible, dependent and arising. Emptiness is understanding that is free of assertions. As long as these two are seen as distinct, you have not yet realized the intent of the Buddhas. When these two realizations concurrent, where the mere sarva infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys all modes of grasping through definite discernment, at that time the analysis of profound view is perfected. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence, emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. When you understand that emptiness arises in the form of cause and effect, you are not captivated by the view of extremes. O my child, once you have thus realized the points of the three principal paths, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination, and quickly reach the final aspired goal. Okay, page 37, 7 in practice. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you with body, speech and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy or aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect and with as many bodies as atoms in the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle, numberless atoms as hosts of Bodhisattvas, and I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With the infinite oceans of praise for you and oceans of sound from the essence of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugathas. Beautiful flowers and regal gardens, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, offer to you victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, scented with powder, heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, offer to you victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done with my body, speech and mind, overrun by attachment, anger and ignorance,
all these I openly lay bare before you.
I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers here still training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme will of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize Parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons, numberless as the atoms of the world, for the happiness and the well-being of the all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. What's your model offering? This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha filled and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. Oh, May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Becoming utterly frustrated with ignorance that grasps with true existence. Please bless me to generate with genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Ratnam Mandalavam Amen. Okay. The foundation of all good qualities, the actual practice. The foundation for all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion in him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying brave effort, please bless me to apply, understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is one for only once. It's greatly meaningful and it's difficult to find again. Please bless me to enjoy the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish the all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Pradimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the abyss of samsara, so for all mother migratory beings, please bless me to see this, train in Supreme Bodhicitta, and I bear the responsibility to free migratory beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding expression inside. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme rider or vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the true attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect this vows and pleasure like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing qualities and stages in the paths, may I could attain the state of Vajratara. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception, Sankapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Lord Santaba, at your feet I make prostrations. Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception, Sankapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Lord Santaba, at your feet I make prostrations. Okay, Janet Maru Consummate Yoga, Tamje Nejuk Sim Geba. The meditation, I'll sing upon the meditation. 5 minutes.
Okay, ready?
Next, the renunciation. Okay, this is going to be a guided meditation. Stop ruminating over the past experiences and stop anticipating for any future events. Cut yourself from the sensory engagements. Be in the present moment. Follow the instructions and see how much you can invoke the respective experiences to the best you can. Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce miseries. To bring an end, not just temporarily, but to bring an end to the suffering altogether. For that matter, we need to terminate, we need to learn how to terminate the final cause of the suffering. And for that, the best way by which to do so, the Four Seals, the practice of the Four Seals, which is the ground, which is the basis for all the practices of renunciation, designed by the great teachers in India, in China, in Tibet, and all the places all over. All composite things are impermanent. The experiences of joy that we had in our lives, the beautiful moment of your mother taking the greatest pride in you. And beautiful moments in your life, celebrating your birthdays during your younger days. And beautiful sunshine. And in many places once were vibrating with tremendous glow and ease and happiness. And later wars happened and everything seemed to disappear into ruins and rubbles. And the past, many beautiful things, they are now in the museums, which means that they are the memories of the past, but they are gone. 200 years ago, the way 7 billion human beings are today here, perhaps like 5 billion human beings those days, the way we are living our life today, and some into Dharma practice, some into indulgence, some just busy with the daily life, some always creating problems for others, some just not even getting enough to eat for a day. So this is how the life passes. And the parents have so much of expectation from the children. And children, they have so much of the enthusiasm and aspiration in the life, the careers. Now, after 200 years, where are those people? Where are those aspirations, plans, and expectations? Where are they? They're all gone. Whether they're accomplished or not accomplished, they're all gone. And 99% of those events are not even remembered today. We have no clue what kind of events went there, what kind of people existed there, who are my great-great-great-grandparents, who are there. Forget about the names and identification. We do not even have a clue who they are. This is the reality of the impermanence. All composite things impermanent. 200 years down the line in the future, the 7 billion human beings today, you have your plans, careers, aspirations, and so forth. Believe it or not even a single person today will be left then. Some are so popular, so famous, but 200 years later in time, all will be long forgotten. This is the reality of impermanence. And this, the obvious impermanence, the visible impermanence that we see, and even with ourselves, once your body, there's a glow there, the glow of the youth there. So tender, age 10, 11, 12, your body, the skin is so tender. The complexion, the tenderness there. And the impermanence hits us. And in your 20s, 30s, the body, the biology just changed. And this tenderness disappeared. The beautiful complexion disappeared. This is reality. And even the hair, so rich. When you were young, age 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, it's so rich. It simply disappeared, that richness. This is the reality of impermanence. And all these changes that you see over this lifespan, over this 200 years, over this 500 years, 2,000 years, 0.3 million years, the Homo sapiens came into being, the human beings appeared on this earth. 15 billion years ago, when the universe, the Big Bang started. So all these changes that you see is possible only if the changes happen on the annual basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, hourly basis. Hourly basis is something that after 2 hours, after 3 hours, you see the change there. And minute basis, the sunset, within few minutes it is gone. This beautiful sunset is gone. A second basis, the second hand, we can see that it's moving. So obvious. Millisecond is so scary to see this change. It was so fast, much faster than the fastest train moving. This is how body moves. This is how your friends move, your children move, your parents move, the world moves. The place in which you live, it moves. It moves so fast. Everything moves so fast. This is how compulsive phenomena is defined. They move so fast. No compulsive phenomena really stay static. Even for a millisecond, it moves so fast. If you don't believe, look at how your timer, press the timer button and see how it moves so fast. The digits, how they move so fast. And this is reality. This is how body moves so fast. We see the body to be so static, and your friends to be so static. This place to be so static, the beautiful house out there, the building where we stay the last 6 days, seems so static. No, not at all. This is all delusion. All compulsive phenomena, they move so fast. Quite scary, very scary though. Imagine that you, while just roaming around on the train platform, somebody just, a stranger would grab you and throw you in a very fast, perfect train. Was experience very scary. It's so frightening. Where is this train taking me? This is exactly how body moves so fast. How mind moves so fast. The world in which we move so fast. The people who you love so much, they also move so fast. Where are they moving? Where is this train moving? What determines where this train is moving is determined by the driver. And if the driver is under the control of the terrorists, let us not expect that this train will take us to the picnic spot. It will only take us to the slaughter house or the torture chamber. And in that case, the driver is the mind. Unfortunately, this mind, the driver of which is the mind, is under the dictate of the worst of the contaminations, self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. which together give rise to all forms of contaminations, inappropriate attention, or the gross afflictions, contaminate karmas, then the perpetuating samsara, perpetuating lack of freedom, the loss of freedom, miseries. This is the outcome. This is where we are being taken to. So scary, so overwhelming. Is there a way out? 2018 disappeared on its own. Our youth, when we were in a teenage, all disappeared on their own. We did not do anything to stop that. It disappeared on its own. Likewise, when will this acute, unbearable suffering come to an end? It will never come to an end. There will never be a time that this overwhelming suffering will come to an end unless until we put in effort. What kind of effort? And of course, ye dharma hetu prabhava. Hetum desham tathagato hyavatat. This is what the Buddha taught. That these miseries, though they don't arise randomly. If they arise randomly, we can't do anything. Nobody can stop that. Even the Buddhas cannot stop that. But luckily, they arise from the causes. Identify these causes and bring an end to these causes. These miseries will automatically come to an end. Okay, yes. How to bring an end to the causes? The final cause is the self-grasping ignorance. If we bring an end altogether, end to the self altogether, bring an end to the self-grasping ignorance. How to bring an end to this? For that we have to, given that this is the ignorance, it is to introduce a counterforce, which is the wisdom. Just as it is only to introduce the light that the darkness can be eradicated, dispelled. Likewise, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eradicated, dispelled. What kind of wisdom? The discerning mind, whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What kind of reality? The realities indicate what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is of nature emptiness and selflessness. What is meant by emptiness and selflessness? Okay, let us meditate on the emptiness of somebody you love so much, who you see as so intrinsically real. Okay, let's do the self. Yourself, who is involved with all kinds of problems, or this person is unkind to me, that weather does not suit me, this food does not suit me, and this I, my, me, is the one which is involved with all the problems. And it's not because of this me, it's a misperception of this me which contributes to all the problems related to you. Okay. What does it mean by this self to be not, is of the nature, this I to be the nature of emptiness and selflessness? Meaning that this I is like a dream. The way the dream is projected by your own mind from the object, objectively there's nothing there as a dream. The dream is purely subjective, coming from your subject, from the mind. Likewise, even this self is like the mind. The moment you wake up, you are least affected by the dream. Likewise, as long as you are in the dream, you are affected, constantly affected by the dream with so much of fear, anxiety, excitement, anguish, and so forth. The moment you wake up, you are freed from all these destructive emotions. Likewise, this self is also like a dream. The moment, only if you realize this self is like a dream, nothing really exists as I from the object, all your mental agitation, anxiety, anguish, depression will dissolve automatically. How can I know this? Yes, how does this self appear to you? As objectively real or as like a dream that your mind is creating it? Of course, not like a dream. Of course, it's so objectively real. This is self-grasping. This belief and apprehension of this self in this fashion is known as the self-grasping ignorance. This is ignorance. How can I know that this is ignorance? How can I know that this is not a valid mind? Okay. If this self would exist the way it appears as objectively real, remember what Aranyagārjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? With a similar token of reasoning, if this self, if this I would exist objectively the way it appears, so objectified, solidified, well defined from the object, why not I see this person as I go closer to this object? Okay, let us quickly go towards the self, closer to the object. Going closer to this object, we see that that's just a thin layer of the skin. Of course, that is not me. I'm only interested in this self which appeared as so real, so objectified there. So whatever is not this self, let us all take them aside, ignore. What is behind this thin skin? The fatty tissues, the muscles, the cartilages, the flesh. Of course, none of this is me. Keep that aside. Then, the skeleton, the skull, the bones, the ribs, the femurs, and all these angles, all these tiny bones, the joints. Of course, these are not me. Keep that aside. Then heart, the brain, lungs, kidney, the spleen, gallbladder, liver, intestine, stomach. None of this is me. Of course, none of this is me. Keep them aside. This solid, this solid parts of your body constitute the element of earth. None of the element of earth is me. Keep that aside. Now, element of water. 4.6 liters of blood, which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is not me. Keep that aside. Element of fire, 2,500 joules of energy of this body in the form of heat, the body heat, the element of fire. Of course, that is not me. My body heat increases, decreases, depending on the situation and environment. Whereas I don't increase, I don't decrease. Okay, keep that aside. Element of air, 68 liters of air, the volume of air, which is being taken in and out by the lungs. Of course, that is not me. Keep that aside. Element of space, 99.99999% of our body is just this space vacuum. But I'm a solid person. I'm not a vacuum. Even the space is also not me. Keep that aside. What is left now? Only my mind is left, mind of the consciousness, element of consciousness. Of course, that is not me. I'm a male. I'm a female. The gender is posited on the basis of the body. Therefore, even this mind is not me. And people can see me. People cannot see this body, see this mind. Even this element of consciousness is also not me. Keep that aside. What is left now? Nothing is left there. Okay. Bring the 6 elements back. What are you seeing now? I'm seeing the 6 elements. Which of the 6 elements is this person? None. You are seeing the emptiness of the objects being one with its parts. Okay, if none of 6 elements is this person, but you earlier saw the self to be so much real, now we come too close to the object. Let us remove these 6 elements to see if there is objective existence self. What is left now? Nothing is left there. Here you realize that the self is empty of being different from its parts, different from 6 elements. Okay. So these are the 2 only options if this self would exist objectively. Given that these two options do not hold true, it implies that this self does not really exist from the object. That's true. Okay. Where is this self now from the object side? It's not true. The self is empty from the object side. Stay in this experience that the self dissolves. To your amazement, to your surprise, the self is empty. It does not really exist the way it appeared as so object real. Self is just empty from the object. Stay in this experience. What's the benefit of this meditation? It's so profound, but what's the benefit? Yes. Just as this self dissolves in this ultimate analysis, or the initially thought that this self is the object, very clear, vivid object of the ultimate analysis. Now to amazement we realize that when subjected to this ultimate analysis, the self is just empty, which means it does not ultimately exist. It does not exist objectively, it does not truly exist. In a similar manner, all the sufferings, depression, anxiety, anguish, the problems with your family, your husband, your wife, your parents, your children, the colleagues in the workplace, all this tension and so forth, if we know how to subject them to ultimate analysis, the way we did to the self, even they will dissolve. All the tension, agitation will instantly disappear, and this will be replaced with a very profound tranquility of the mind, the peace of mind. This experience of tranquility is so profound, which we never experienced before by any kind of meditation. This experience of the tranquility, of the peace, in the experience of emptiness, and stabilized is nirvana. And what we're experiencing is the similitude of nirvana. And the aspiration to seek this stabilized experience, very stabilized experience of this emptiness, where all the miseries dissolve. This is the true meaning of renunciation, the most profound meaning of renunciation. Say, renouncing aspiration to get rid of samsara, aspiration to get rid of fears of life and so forth. They are renunciation, but they are not the final understanding of nirvana, the renunciation. Final understanding of renunciation is to be understood in the context of the experience of emptiness. Aspiration to abide in this experience, stably abide in this experience of emptiness, where all the agitation, miseries dissolve. Okay, cultivate a very strong determination, aspiration that may I soon experience this stabilized experience of the emptiness, where all the agitation, anxiety, anguish, loss of freedom dissolve. And you experience the very profound, tranquil experience of the total peace. Would you slowly come out of this practice for a few seconds before we move to Bodhicitta practice? Okay, ready? Bodhicitta. For Bodhicitta practice, because this is the Bodhicitta practice, this is something which is so precious, and which will give you, just like the gem, wishful gem, which can be very unusual, or very special wishful gem, which gives the greatest meaning to life, which is the full awakening of the Buddha nature which exists within you in the form of full Buddhahood, infinite happiness. Because this is a very important journey, we seek the help of great support. The greatest of the support is the three jewels. So reinforce visualization of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the Dhamma and the Sangha. And they're so affectionate, so loving, and so caring. No matter how mischievous, how naughty we are, like the mother, very affectionate mother, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are to embrace us. When you reinforce visualization of your true parents, your children, and all the family members and all sentient beings around you, leaving them aside. And you are here, you are the mother, so loving, caring, affectionate, not at all there to give up on the dear sentient beings, forever ready to embrace with love and affection to benefit them. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken this Buddha nature to the fully blossomed version of the Buddhahood by encountering the self-centered attitude, by igniting the light of this Adhisharishi mind of the Bodhicitta. Okay, we'll do that on the basis of the four immeasurables, and then at home it would be good to do that on the basis of these one of the two methods. And you can alternate between the two methods on the alternate days. Okay, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing the real make such a gracious commitment, like the mother of all these many years of hardship in bringing up and raising the children. Today, the eldest daughter, just aged 13, and the son, aged 12, come to the mother. Mother, please take rest. You've done everything for us. I'm already grown up. I'll take care of all my siblings and also take care of you. You love us so much. We love you so much. Mother, please take rest. You're already very tired. Mother could not believe her eyes and ears. She was so moved by your gesture of taking the commitment, taking the pledge to take care of your siblings as well. The mother could not believe her eyes and ears. She is so moved with tears in her eyes. This is what has exactly happened to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They are so moved with intense joy and pride to see that you made such a gracious commitment. And this pride and happiness invoke the compassionate minds of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to send for nectars for soothing lights towards you and all ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies and beings yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness in the minds of the sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening across all the demon sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing the real make such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassionate omniscient mind to send forth nectars or soothing lights towards you and all ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies and beings yours washes away all the miseries and cause of miseries, particularly self-grasping, the self-centered attitude within the mind sensual beings yourself. And you're witnessing such miracles happening to us all the dimensional beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Okay, underscoring all the 4 principles. So we did just first 2. Underscoring all the 5 principles is unconditional love towards all the dimensional beings, towards all your children of this life and in the past lives. Imagining, visualizing that you are looking at the eyes of each of the dear mother sentient beings and your children, reassuring them of your giving security, love, affection, telling them, have no fear, I'm there. They feel so happy, so secure, to the extent they feel themselves as so special in the eyes. Okay, with the spirit of unconditional love towards all the dimensional beings, with folded hands, let us make the beautiful commitment of the Bodhicitta, the commitment of the beautiful mind of Bodhicitta 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotless and clean moon disk, 1 inch or 1.5 inches in diameter, horizontally sitting on the heart. It's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment, but how come that you can become Buddha? What guarantee is there? Yes, of course, I'm the Buddha nature, are the seed of perfection within myself. And how come that is not awake until now, since time immemorial? Yes, it's all because I'm being deceived by the 2 demons. The obscurations will obscure this Buddha nature within me. Self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. I'm now disillusioned by these 2. Now I realize that these 2 are not my friends at all. These are the demons, the worst of the demons, worst of the contaminations. I'll just do everything to exterminate these 2. How will you do that? By introducing a very strong counter-force. What is that counter-force? The wisdom of emptiness. Okay, what is that wisdom of emptiness? Quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness which we meditated as the 3rd seal. Okay, what are you seeing of yourself? I'm seeing just the 6 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. What are you seeing? I'm seeing 6 elements. Where is this person? It's not there, it's empty. The 6 elements are not none of the 6 elements is the self. And no different from the 6 elements is the self. The self is empty there. In the eyes of this ultimate analysis, it's empty. Objective is no way there. It's just empty from the object side. It disappears to your amazement. Stay in this experience. Slowly transform this fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotless, clean white vajra, thumb-sized white vajra, vertically sitting on a moon disk at the heart. Okay, that's amazing. Now you have the moon symbolizing conventional bodhicitta, and the Vaishnava symbols are ultimate bodhicitta. Wonderful. But what about your dear sentient beings, your children, all the children of the past lives, children of this life, the mothers of this life, mothers of the past life? They are suffering. They turn to Vaishnava moon, yes, of course, with immense, intense love and affection, compassion. This intense compassion that you feel towards all the different sentient beings invokes the Vaishnava moon at your heart to multiply infinite number of times. Okay. Share one side of the Vaishnava moon at the heart of your mother. With intense love, intense compassion, share one with your mother. One side with your father at his heart. No matter how difficult was your relationship with your parents, it doesn't matter. We are going to transcend. It is because of this thinking and that you feel unhappy about, and the grudge and the resentment, that we constantly accumulate negative karma. We never meet with good parents in our life. Now we're going to revolutionize that. We're going to just revolutionize that thinking, and we're going to bring them and share this Vaishnava moon for the benefit. Likewise, share this Vaishnava moon, one side with each one of your children, one side with each one of your family members, each one here, administrators, the staff of the spiritual center, the animals here, insects, every insect, the spirits, the Holy Ghost, helpings, gods and goddesses, everyone in this place, and share one set with everyone in the entire universe, every sentient being. All sentient beings have this Vaishnava moon in the heart now. This moon in all different sentient beings, symbolizing the conventional bodhicitta, the desire, very spontaneous desire to become Buddha for the all sentient beings. This guarantees that the demon of self-grasp, self-centered attitude is going to be exterminated. And Vajra in all mother sentient beings, including you, is the ultimate bodhicitta, which guarantees to exterminate the self-grasping ignorance, all the gross and subtle stains of the self-grasping ignorance, guaranteeing that this demon of self-grasping ignorance that stains will be eradicated. Amazing. Now, ultimate sentient beings, they're soon going to be liberated fully to experience the infinite happiness and the fearlessness. Amazing. Let us not forget that all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're watching us since the beginning. Yes, why not? We invite. What an honor for us, what a joy for us to invite, like the child inviting parents to his or her, their first public appearance. Why not we invite all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be the guest and a witness to undertaking the ceremony of accepting, of taking the explicit Bodhisattva vow. So as a gesture of making a request to them to be guest and the witness, along with all the sentient beings, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Just the table.
Just the table.
Okay, on your right knees. Okay, let's turn to page 50. Okay, page 50. Okay, reinforce the visualization of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas as we requested. No doubt they are there. They're here. Literally, they're here. They're so happy, so proud. What are you doing today? And also reinforce the visualization of your two parents, your children, and all sentient beings, everyone around you. They're also taking part in this, undertaking the ceremony of the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And you are the eldest daughter and the eldest son, imagine. Very young, tender age, and so courageously taking the responsibility to help all your siblings, the dear sentient beings. And the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the way the two parents, when you make the first public appearance as a very young, tender daughter and a girl, age 5, age 6, imagine how your two parents, they take such a pride in you. They leave everything, all the works left behind, and they make sure that they are there. This is the most important event, the day for them in their life. To witness, to give moral support, to witness, to give assurance to you that we are here in the public, and waving the hands to you, saying that we are proud of you as a daughter, as a son. We are proud of you. And you are making this first public appearance. Now you feel so rest assured, so happy that your parents are there, and your nervousness dissolves. And this is exactly what all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're watching with so much of love, full attention, care, focus, love, attention, embrace. It's so like this is for them, seeing that, taking such a pride in you of what are you doing today. Okay, with this mind, on the first stanza, let us wholeheartedly say this as the preliminary practice to prepare us to the actual ceremony. And again, because this is a very important journey, the greatest meaning, the most important journey that can possibly exist in this universe. And today you are undertaking this journey. The journey towards the ultimate happiness for yourself and for all human sentient beings. And because this is a journey which we never ever traversed before, we need a tremendous support and guide. And the greatest of the guide and support is the Triple Gem. So the first line says, I go for refuge in the Triple Gem. And this journey involves two things. The journey, for sure, the road must be very clear. It should not be blocked by the boulders and the trees and so forth. And this road is none other than only mind. Our mind must be cleared of the boulder and the trees, the obstructions like the mental defilements. We have to get rid of the mental defilements to the best you can. So the best way you wish to do so is by confessing the negativities. So the second line says, confess negativities individually. And once the road is clear, but if the car does not have the fuel, again, you cannot undertake the journey. The car is none other than your own mind. So this mind must have the enough fuel of the merit, fuel of the virtues to undertake this journey and to complete this journey. And this car is none other than your own mind. You might need to have the